We now continue with our narration of Frank Channing Haddock's Culture of Courage. We're still in Chapter 5, Physical Tone. In the immediately prior video, we ended with, we may see then that the psychic factor within us builds the bodies we live in, so that our physical character is largely an expression of our personal character. Ages of wrong thought life are behind us, yet even so, it is within our power to improve physical character very greatly indeed. Now, to continue. The power of personal right thinking and harmony with the white life of infinite and eternal reality may be explained in the following way. No understanding here, of course, that this outline is designed merely to be suggestive. All matter in the realm of nature, being a manifest of infinite and eternal reality, nature and her substances are phases of the eternal thought. The study of nature is just the study of that thought, conducted in various ways and for various purposes. The thought, in all its existences and relations, is a vast and complex whole, and yet, from the point of view of its highest value to man, a great word, comparatively simple and open to every earnest and sincere seeker throughout all the ages. If you will ask yourself, what are the main and abiding thoughts which are embodied in nature? Your conclusion, I think, need not be elaborate and confusing. The question, however, must be asked in a receptive and unprejudiced mood, and not merely by the matter-of-fact intellect. Every inch of earth, of water, of fire, and of air contains the fundamental principles of the universe. And man is the connecting link between dust and deity, and can bridge the gulf through the illumination of his mind. The most powerful telescope known to man is mind's eye. He who has cultivated and learned to open his heart to the touch of outward nature illuminates his inner being by the elevation and refinement of his emotional and imaginative nature. This is the first principle in the objective world of the higher education of mind and soul. The first lesson of Mother Earth is to instruct her children to be softened and sympathetic toward the moods of outward nature. Thus mankind softens, broadens, and grows, becoming more susceptible to impressions, taking in the glory of the divine architect, which is in the world revealed, and the golden gates of the soul are opened. Seeking with such a spirit, then, the main thoughts which nature embodies, I venture to say that infinite and eternal reality has there expressed itself in these great words: reality, beauty, power, love, truth, goodness, development, service, law, harmony, happiness, life. These are the thoughts expressed in nature which are manifest in the white life. For such the nature of things always declares, when free to do so. By so many as any object of existence fully realizes itself by so much are these thoughts. So far as such realization requires, made concrete, if only we have the seeing mind and the feeling heart. With these powers of perception, the seeing mind and the feeling heart, we come to know that all in nature is good and means good to every man and woman and child in this world. There is no evil in nature. All so-called evil in nature is due either to some phase of her existence wrongly used or to some false interpretation in human thinking. Nature is real, true, lawful, beautiful, good, harmonious, full of power, a growing organism, a minister of service and well-being, a living thing, a literature of love. If you refer to microbes, poisons, deadly serpents, and the like, I reply that the perfect white life in man, together with the knowledge of science, would teach him to avoid wrong relations and develop within him physical, mental, and moral tone. Thus would he be rendered immune from all so-called evils. If your inner life contains nothing alien to these great nature thoughts, if you see to it that their character is given in your personal character, you will secure in the body a degree of the power of harmony which they possess, and your health will infallibly correspond. Do not mistake this sentence. Will you kindly read it again until you see what it really means? If your inner life contains nothing alien to these great nature thoughts, if you see to it that their character is given in your personal character, you will secure in the body a degree of the power of harmony which they possess, and your health will infallibly correspond. The only limit to your health will be the limit of your ability to realize in yourself the mighty thoughts which make nature what she is. I do not mean that splendid results must immediately issue from the course indicated. Patience and time are important factors. I do not mean that a dying man can inevitably realize these thoughts sufficiently to recover health. There are limits, not to the law, but to one's ability to use the law. In spiritual effort of the inner self to lay hold upon the universal forces, you can make your own personal discoveries. I may not say a greater word. Above all, I do not mean that merely thinking the thoughts will be enough in any case. The method is one of realization as well as affirmation. But by so much as you become that which the nature thoughts suggest, by so much will your physical and psychic health come to buoyancy, joy, and power. You are now invited, then, to adopt the following as the permanent law of your thought life. I am, in every function of my body and every activity of my deeper self, entirely genuine, representing truth, obeying law, loving beauty, striving for goodness, coming to harmony, possessed of power, growing to better things, full of happiness, eager to serve, a living white life, and a lover of all that is good. If you will thoughtfully and believingly repeat this law twice a day, say, for 100 days, you will find life unfolding new meanings, fears fading and dying, and courage growing to real greatness. So what is it again? I am, in every function of my body and every activity of my deeper self, entirely genuine, representing truth, obeying law, loving beauty, striving for goodness, coming to harmony, possessed of power, growing to better things, full of happiness, eager to serve, a living white life, and a lover of all that is good. Now we arrive at a number 8. In the mystery of the silence, the power of realization becomes greatest and most effective, because in such a state, the self makes its high thoughts a conscious claim on all good things. In the mystery of the silence, the power of realization becomes greatest and most effective, because in such a state, the self makes its high thoughts a conscious claim on all good things. The direct utility of the right thought life is nowhere doubted. By this, the psychic factor largely molds the body and influences its function. Preceding methods or laws have all referred to the truth involved. But the law of direct realization is needed in order to complete the workings of the truth. By direct realization, the self consciously claims the present benefit of the spirit or attitude of harmony. You may think of yourself as splendidly well and fearless. That is one thing. You regard yourself as in such conditions. And you may claim yourself now to be well and courageous. That's another thing. You treat yourself for health and fearlessness. When you think of your arm as moving, it does not necessarily move. You have merely entertained the idea. When you will your arm to move, you have claimed your power to move it and have realized the power, realized it, realized in actual thought that power. The difference would obtain if your arm were bound. You could still realize in thought the sense of movement. Realization of the eternal thoughts is a conscious claim in spirit and appropriation in spirit of the thoughts as actual within yourself. Realization of benefits for health is a conscious holding of them in mind as present in you. One may in time acquire the fixed mood of realization, but it will assist you to bring about that mood if you will occasionally, say once a day, shut out all disturbances and alien thoughts and alien feelings, and to try to come into communion with the white life. Go into the silence, and by quiet affirmation and sincere, trustful realization, claim the universal forces as your helpers in building up your physical tone and the spirit of courage. A sentence like the following may be used. Conscious of psychic uprightness in the white life, and of the beauty, utility, and wonder of my physical being in its nature and function, I now claim, and without doubt am receiving, the universal forces for my best tone and courageous spirit in all improving health. a regime. Hold steadily the ideal of body in mind and mind in body. Ruthless of logic, so interfused that neither is alone, and each in each forms one, yourself. This perfect first stage of ideal, hold you in the vision of thought demand, hold it deep and at the center of spirit's heart, as though it were alive in the heart of flesh. Hold there, immovable and failing not through all distractions, quite serenely sure that first stage prophesies a second, and a second, third, and each succeeding stage a further, for I, beyond these years and into death and out, here is eternal procession of your Holy Ghost, feeding good faith with reason consummate. And if you so hold, since this our system vast agrees in essence, or of substance, energy, or law, and you are true force, thus in harmony with all, shall not your thought induce incoming movements from life here, and planets yonder, and higher realms afar, rushing in for you, vortex maker, true magnetic load, LODE, and usher into body cells, nerve cells, energy spheres of your dynamic self, the dual health, for which dust blows from out the mouth of God, for which power emerges in the breath creative, for which life pulsates in the heart deific, for which love works to make that life immortal. Courage, soul. All things are yours. Passion and vigor for the half of you, body. Beauty and the truth for the half of you, mind. All for the self of you, mind, body, human. Hold then the ideal unshaken for that complete quality which is solely the oneness of health, regnant of perfecting the soul. The next chapter, dual health tone of the self, begins with, be strong and of good courage, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. Stoics of old defined virtue as essential health and a strength of mind, a right state of the soul, agreeing with its proper nature. But that's for the next video. See you there.